Are we educating them? And that's really the key component that I think of anything. People don't know what they don't know. So if in fact we can educate them in this space, connect them with somebody who's going to take them under their wing and say, hey, I want to help you to grow, then I think it's going to bode well for everybody who follows them down the line.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers, fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
So let's go to the bankers. Let's start with Juan. What do you say to all these challenges? How can your bank help, and does it?
Okay, well, did you want to hear a little bit about my role first, or do you just want to jump right into?
You can start however you would like.
Just want to make sure.
Let's talk about your role, because that is how you deal with the challenges.
Okay, right. So I have a history, or my background is in residential lending. I'm with Farmers National Bank. So for 20 years, I helped people secure homes and have access to capital to whether to build, buy, or refinance their homes. In the last 6-7 years, I've worked in the space of community development, which is pertinent to this conversation. So I help in the areas of, I don't know how familiar people are with CRA, but it stands for the Community Reinvestment Act. So that was enacted by Congress in 1977 to ensure that capital was accessible, or banks were meeting the credit needs of their communities, inclusive of low to moderate income. So not ethnicity or race or color driven, but as a result of, there was what's called redlining, where there were certain areas that maybe banks weren't lending to. So that law was enacted to ensure that we're meeting the needs of the entire community. So consequently, of those, there's 3 areas that comprise of CRA, and there's a lending component, a service, and an investment piece. Pertinent to this conversation, the lending piece is what we're doing to make affordable housing accessible to everyone, loans to small businesses and small farms, and then community development loans. So as far as the challenges, what I've picked up on with what everyone shared, there's a mentorship component. I think that it's key for anybody going into, inclusive of minorities, if you're getting into something, look at someone who's doing it and doing it well, and then have that person help guide you along the way. I mean, we hear about life coaches in today's society, and so it's really germane that individuals see someone, whether it's Terrell or Ashley or Keelan, Lisa, Ashley? Lynn, okay, and Deshaun, who are doing it and doing it well, and they've been able to navigate through the system. Are we as lenders, when we sit down, I always look at it as consultative in nature. We want to see businesses succeed because it's win-win, not only for the business and for the community, but for the bank as well, because we're looking to lend the money. And as they grow, then we grow in the relationship. But it's really mentorship is key. Deshaun alluded to opportunity, and it's showing that there's a level of excellence that you guys are putting out in the businesses that you have, or like with Keelan at the mall. But hey, it's not just for black or brown or whatever other minority that may fall into that area. It could be a woman-owned business, but it's saying, you know what? We have a standard like everyone else. My skin color may be different, but let me show you. And sometimes you have to work a little harder. We understand twice as hard sometimes, or not even more than that. But it's really being that advocate for these businesses and supporting them to say, hey, you know what? They've made it. Now they've paved the road for others who are coming down the line. Access to capital. There is legislation. Until the legislators have a change in heart, you're going to deal with those challenges. And I can't speak to that because I'm not the legislator and I don't make the decision. But it's really incumbent upon us to, when someone comes, whether it's working with the Valley Partners, with Matthew, and how they have programs that are available to help. There's one program I speak of, and it's called EDGE, and it stands for Economically Disadvantaged Growing Entrepreneurs. So geared towards minority and women-owned businesses. And so it's really bringing that to light. Again, is that lender, whether it's Farmers or Consumers or any other bank that's going to help these individuals start their business, grow their business, and continue to expand, are we educating them? And that's really the key component that I think of anything. People don't know what they don't know. So if in fact we can educate them in this space, connect them with somebody who's going to take them under their wing and say, hey, I want to help you to grow, then I think it's going to bode well for everybody who follows them down the line.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers, fiercely local, fiercely loyal.